Welcome back to another episode with Think Big with Lasindu. In the last episode, I peeled back the curtain on the hidden AI war that is shaping the humanity's future. But today, I'm gonna dig deeper and I'm gonna reveal more truth behind the AI. This episode might be technical in a certain way, but I'm gonna try to keep it in a simple way. So, like in this episode, I'm gonna talk about the race for this thing called AGI and the coming jobs apocalypse and why Elon Musk, Google, China, and all these big companies and countries are risking everything to control the AI revolution and lot more. So if you are ready to understand the real battle ahead, stick around. And this is Think Big with Lasindu. So before we get to this episode, again, I'm asking you, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you won't miss my videos. And if you are listening to me on a podcast platform, make sure that you follow my profile and follow this journey with me, because it helps more than you know. Alright, back to the episode. In the previous episode, I covered the surface level of the dark side. I gave the AI definition. I covered the energy crisis that we are about to face because of AI. Then about the TSMC monopoly and about the EUV machines, how these AI chips are being made. About EUV machines monopoly with ASML and China's struggle. Why China can't make the best AI chips at the moment. Why they are a couple of steps behind than the US, and a lot more. So if you haven't watched or listened to the previous episode, make sure that you listen to that before continuing with this episode, because I believe that you need to have a certain level of understanding and the entrance to the dark side of AI before getting into the more technical aspect of these things. So if you haven't watched or listened to the previous episode, I highly recommend you listen to that episode first before continuing the AI hidden truth on this episode. I will link the previous episode in the description below, so make sure that you listen to that if you haven't listened to or watched it before. Alright, so let's get to it. Where are we gonna start? Let's start off with this thing called AGI. So what is AGI? AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence. So think of it in this way. The current AI systems that we are using, like ChatGPT, Grok, DeepSeek, or whatever the AI systems that you are using at the moment, they are like the surface level systems. Think of it like this. So the current systems that we are using, like ChatGPT, is a specialized calculator, and the AGI, the artificial general intelligence, is like an Einstein on your hand. So ChatGPT is like a specialized calculator that you have on your hand, and the AGI will be the Einstein level thinker or an AI system that you have on your hand, solving problems like literally in any field and by being creative. Even so, OpenAI, the mother company of ChatGPT, has 5 development stages. So the ChatGPT is their first stage of this AI development. So the surface level, it's a chat-based, conversation-based AI system. The second stage is called reasoning. So reasoning is the stage where, so that we are already in the reasoning stage now. So it's like more logical, problem-solving, thinking way. That is where the DeepSeek came in and sort of kicked the ChatGPT out of the park and sort of made the whole world like, how did this happen? So because they came up with the reasoning model pretty clever way, but now ChatGPT is also picking things up and they have come to the same level. The third stage is going to be agents. So agents are like autonomous AI agents that are designed to do a specific task. I'm trying to build a business based on AI agents as well. So basically, I'm trying to create a business where I'm creating AI agents to do a certain task to specific people. And so basically, AI agents will be there will be certain tasks that you're going to ask the AI agent to do, and it will do it automatically. And the fourth stage is the multi-agent. So basically, multiple AI agents collaborating together and performing multiple tasks. And the final stage is the AGI. It's like fully independent human level intelligence AI system. And that system, by the time that we get in, that system will have a better intelligence level than all the humans combined in this world. It's going to be massive, and we are heading towards that direction. And of course, there are pros and cons in terms of anything. And like for pros, it could help sort of cure a lot of diseases. So solve diseases, like most likely it will be able to cure cancer and stuff like that. But in terms of cons, losing control of this super intelligence will be the biggest con. Like it'll be the biggest threat, because imagine AI system having an intelligence level of all the humans combined. So it will be really difficult. If we lose control of that level of a system, it will be really difficult for us to take back control. So that will be the biggest threat. And then there will be kind of like, mass unemployment. Like it'll be like there will be, I also believe like there will be a lot of ethical concerns as well. But at the end of the day, we need to understand that this is where the world is heading, and creating an AGI could pretty much be the humanity's greatest achievement, or the greatest threat as well. So like, yeah, it could go both ways. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, but it's coming. It's coming, and we are the ones who are building it. And as I mentioned in my previous episode, also there's this thing called a black box problem. So which means the people who are building these AI systems doesn't want to understand how exactly it works, how exactly these AI systems are doing the self-learning and how that works. Because at the end of the day, if one could understand how it works, then another person could understand, or steal this and then sort of weaponize it against the humanity. Because at the end of the day, it's intelligence, and that is the future. So therefore, people even who are building this doesn't want to understand how exactly these things work, how exactly these things are doing the self-learning part. So there's that factor as well. But then again, the only thing that you can do is just to prepare yourself, embrace it, and adapt to it, because it's gonna happen eventually, regardless of whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's happening already. So the only thing that we can do is adapt with it and figure out how exactly that you are going to position yourself in this new world. And the next topic I want to talk about is the AI job apocalypse and how AI will create new workers. So basically, let me tell you what will AI do to jobs. In reality, it'll take a lot of jobs that basically most of the jobs that AI will take will be these manual repetitive jobs, and it will also create a lot of jobs as well. So think of it like this. There are repetitive tasks. For an example, if you take a call center, people are answering calls and all these things. You can create an entire call center with AI, but you will also need people to manage those AI. So like basically, most likely, it'll create like a lot of managerial jobs to manage those AIs. But then again, this is why I'm telling you guys, you have to adapt with AI and learn how to use AI if you want to stay ahead in this game. And if you want to keep your job and everything secured, you just have to learn with AI and get adapted to it. So you'll be able to, like, I don't know, maybe get a promotion, but then again, you will need to know how to use those things and how to control those AI models and AI systems, pretty much AI agents. Think of it like this. There were a lot of farmers back in the day, and when the tractors came into the world, a lot of farmers lost the job. And the farmers who adapted became the supervisors or drivers or managers. So in the same way, unless you get adapted with AI, there's a big chance that you might lose your job to an AI agent. It's really important that you learn how these systems work And yes, for most of y'all it might be boring, and for most of people it might be hard, but I get it, because sometimes you might be in your mid 30s or early 40s, or I don't know, late 40s, and all of a sudden now you have to learn about a new technology to secure your job and to provide your family for the future. Is that where it's going? I guess so. But so there's no way around it unless you embrace it, or unless you have already made your money and you're just secured for the next 2 or 3 decades or whatever. But for the majority of the people who are listening, it might not be the case. So you have to position yourself in a place that you are going to adapt with it, because AI is here to elevate you, right? So you need to choose whether you are going to adapt or going to get left behind. Let me tell you about why big companies like Google, Amazon, and even Elon Musk as a person, and these countries like China, everywhere, like why they all are trying to get control of AI, and why there's this whole competition is happening. Basically, whoever controls AI will control the information and data and everything. So that country or the company will pretty much control the whole world. And Elon Musk is way ahead than what we actually think. This is the thing, guys. Like people say various things about Musk, but then again, people criticize him, people hate him. There are a lot of things, but I have a massive respect for that guy, for the things that he does. If you really look into the things that he actually does, other than the Doge and stuff, like the things that he do for the future of humanity is just massive. In terms of AI, he has one of the biggest AI data centers, and with GPUs. Like by data centers, for these data centers, you need a lot of AI chips, thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of these GPU chips. There's GPU chips, TPU chips, and all this stuff. I'm not gonna dive deeper into GPU and TPU chips and all these things. But then again, just to give an idea, you need hundreds of thousands of GPU chips. For an example, I believe OpenAI has about 100,000 or little over 100,000 GPU chips data center, and Meta also has about 100,000 or something like that. Elon Musk, he came to the AI race later than OpenAI and all these players. He just came in and bought 200,000 GPUs from NVIDIA. I think about 100,000 H100 and another 100,000 H200 GPUs, and he started his own AI data center. And the best part about it is these GPU clusters, I think he's using a liquid cooling system. So that is the first time that that a liquid cooling system has been ever built for GPU clusters. I believe Microsoft or Google are using a liquid cooling system on one of their TPU data centers, but nobody has used such a system against GPU clusters. So Elon Musk is the first person to have a liquid cooling system for GPU data center. And I think everyone else, the other companies like Amazon, Meta, and OpenAI, and even Oracle, they are sort of adapting that system, because that's going to be the next level of the system. So Elon Musk is the only person who has it right now, and his AI data center, guys, y'all can just Google this, Elon Musk AI data center or whatever, and y'all will see how big of an AI data center that is, and how this you all be able to see this white color kind of container boxes, kind of things in at a stretch, and those are the cooling centers. It's massive. It's bollocks, right? It's bollocks, and he's the only. I believe OpenAI even have this maybe a couple of hundred more thousand GPUs in different centers. But then again, Elon Musk is the only person as for now who has about 200,000 GPU clusters in one AI data center, because you need to have them all together, tighten, to get the maximum speed and the maximum efficiency, because there's no point of spreading out these data centers and these GPU clusters here and there, so then you can't get the maximum bandwidth. If you have them all together tighten up, then you can get the maximum bandwidth and maximum speed at the maximum capacity. And Elon Musk is the only person who has that at the moment. It's gonna get changed eventually, but this is the other reason. And I believe sometimes US government might put certain regulations that a company can't buy more than 100,000 GPUs or whatever for a certain amount of period, because realistically TSMC can't provide that many GPUs. And Nvidia is also trying to create their own chips, but then again, it's not enough. These AI chips are not enough. So basically, I believe most likely people will put certain governance and stuff in terms to manage this whole crisis, but it's not properly, there's no proper governance yet, and it might come to the light soon or later. But then again, we have to wait and see how it's going to happen, because at the end of the day, everyone is going on this race, all these big companies, all these big countries, and everybody's going on this race, and we just have to wait and see. And it gets much more deeper and darker than what we actually think. And most humans, most of the people, they don't have a proper idea of how this works. They use ChatGPT, they use these AI systems, they use social media, they use Google Maps, they use all these front-end tools and systems that are made with AI algorithms and AI chips. But then again, they don't have an idea how exactly it works, or what sort of things that needs to be done in order for them to use such services and systems. And if you look into the back end, it's not as beautiful or as clear as you think. It's really messy, it's blurred, it's not just black and white, there's a lot of gray areas. So people need to understand that yes, using AI systems is fun, it's gonna make your job much easier and do all that, but at the end of the day, sometimes easy come, easy go. So AI came in really fast, so we need to understand how to navigate properly in this AI sea, because otherwise we are gonna get lost. At last, just let me explain you guys about this whole AI Cold War, this whole, it's pretty much it's democracy versus the dictatorship, right? It's basically this AI war is happening against US and China at the moment, but I'm sure Russia is also coming to the picture. Russia is building their own EUV machine. I don't know whether it's true or not exactly, but then again, I believe yes. Russia could build that machine. Russia clearly can make it, so not sure how exactly that's going to happen. But anyhow, here's the thing, guys. So from the US end, you have ChatGPT, Grok, and a couple of other systems. Then the China released their DeepSeek model. But understand this. Use both models and see. I use most of these AI systems, chat-based AI systems, every day. Literally, GPT, the latest versions, then Grok AI, DeepSeek, and most of other, then Claude, Google Gemini. I pretty much use all of these platforms, AI systems, every single day for to see. And I ask sometimes, I give them the same task and see which platform do the best. And there are a lot of scenarios that DeepSeek comes out really handy. But then again, understand this. The US is a democratic country, and they sort of create these things based on its free speech and everything. So in a way, it's fair to say that they are building all these systems based on those policies, right? It's free speech. So no one's gonna sort of say anything against this. If you want to troll Trump on ChatGPT, you could do that. But on the other hand, when it's come to DeepSeek, it's not like that. She is like a dictatorship. Basically, with DeepSeek, you can't just mess around. You can't just say anything against China. You can't just troll and just create sort of memes or whatever on DeepSeek against China president. You will not, just try this. Just try this for yourself. Go to DeepSeek and try to troll Xi, or try to troll China or whatever. If you say anything against China, it will not give you any results. So basically, if the DeepSeek take over ChatGPT and all these other platforms, it will sort of spread the Chinese culture, the Chinese beliefs, and the Chinese dictatorship around the world. So you need to realize whether you want the free speech, although it's I'm not gonna talk about the whether it's actually free speech or whatever, but you need to realize whether you want the free speech up to a certain extent or whether you don't want it at all. So this is where the world is heading, and this is the whole AI Cold War that is happening against US versus China, and there's a lot more, as I mentioned in my previous episode. So there's this whole export sanctions that US has put against a lot of countries, specifically targeting China. The EUV machine manufacturer ASML can't do any business with China. So that is why China doesn't have a way to get their hands on these EUV machines, and so they still have this machine called DUV, deep ultraviolet lithography machines, whereas they are creating 7 nanometer and bigger chips, but they can't get into the smaller chips like 5 nanometer, 3 nanometer, and 2 nanometer chips. So there's this whole other export sanctions and lot going on, and yeah, man, it's scary because on the other hand, if China is trying to get Taiwan under their Chinese ring as well. So if that happens, then it's gonna be another massive problem, because it's like another game over kind of scenario for US, because Taiwan produced about 90 to 95% of the AI chips to the whole world, and there's no other US company that could make such amount of chips in such scale with the latest technology and everything. There's no company, and it's almost impossible. And understand this: the smallest mistake or the smallest earthquake or whatever pretty much can held back hundreds of millions of dollars of worth chips. It will be destroyed if there's a smallest earthquake. Even so, these buildings of TSMC are designed in a way that even if there's a small earthquake, these buildings will not shake. It's a massive infrastructure. The engineering and everything is just you can't even fathom to imagine how they have built it. So people don't think about these things, and most people don't have an idea about these things. But then again, I'm trying to educate more people as I'm in the space, and I want people to understand that at the end of the day, it's not something that's gonna come in the future. It's already here, right? And I don't want people to sort of have this idea of AI boogeyman kind of idea, be scared of AI. There's no point of being scared of AI. You have to embrace it and adapt with it, because at the end of the day, that adaptation is the key to your future success. And once you do that, you'll be able to manage with AI and stuff like that. But then again, at the end of the day, understand there's no whole point of being a kind of a boogeyman to AI, be scared of AI. I know most people, I talk to a lot of people day to day. I meet people day to day, and sometimes just randomly ask about AI, things about AI from them, and most people are just hesitant to talk about AI, and they say nah, I don't want to talk anything about that or whatever. But in reality, yes, you don't have to talk about it, but then again, understand it's already here, and it's not something that is coming in the future. I will end this episode saying the AI revolution is already here, and you can pretty much survive or thrive, and the choice is yours. And as always, stay curious, stay adaptive, and think big.